Today I'm going to do something different. It's for an album by an indie rock band. It's a genre I almost never listen to, but this record was given to me as a gift, so I kept it in my collection. It's been a while since I listened to it, but I decided to put it on again and give it another chance. So as always, I will be showing my vinyl copy and talking about the album and a few select tracks. So I'm going to first start by showing you my vinyl copy. Let's take a look at the vinyl copy. Some pretty cool artwork. It's cartoonish, almost video game, like 16-bit graphic type of thing. That's what I get from those weird lines. Here's a sticker. It comes with a digital download, which I never used. I just found the insert in it right now. Let's take a look at the other side. And they have this weird like handwriting like throughout the entire album. That's how you're supposed to read everything, but it's all part of the whole thing with these albums. So let's take a look at the inner sleeve. This is the inner sleeve, and it has all of the songs and lyrics. They're all like handwritten in this weird wiggly handwritten style. So that's pretty cool. Let me flip it over. There it is, more lyrics and such and all that. And then there's some like liner notes and all the people involved and everything like that. Here's the vinyl. It's just a black with that kind of like indie pink. It has this like almost Starbucks lobby kind of vibe with the color. That's what I get from it. But anyway, let's get back to the video. Heartworms is the fifth studio album by The Shins, released on March 10, 2017 through Columbia Records. It was the first album since 2012's Port of Morrow and marked a return to a more band-driven sound led by frontman James Mercer. Heartworms was primarily written and produced by James Mercer, who took a hands-on approach by self-producing the album. This was unlike the previous album, Port of Morrow, which involved extensive collaboration with producer Greg Kurstin. On this album, James Mercer aimed for a raw, unpolished vibe, recording much of it at his home studio in Portland. He later worked with producer Richard Swift to refine the tracks at Swift's National Freedom Studio. The album blends the Shins' signature indie pop/rock sound with elements of psych pop, surf rock, and baroque pop. It's described as lush, melodic, and introspective, with Mercer's distinctive voice and lyrical wit at the forefront. Now, I haven't listened to the other albums by the band, but according to my research, the album brings back a sound similar to the band's earlier work, such as albums like Oh, Inverted World, while incorporating new textures. Mercer wrote the songs over several years, with some tracks dating back to 2014. The album was recorded in short sessions with contributions from band members like Yuki Matthews on bass, Mark Watrous on guitar, and John Sortland on drums. It was a departure from the revolving door lineup of previous Shins records, focusing on a core group. One thing I liked about the album was that it explored personal reflection. It had lyrics about real-life experiences from fatherhood to Mercer's Air Force upbringing. I also read that Heartworms received generally positive reviews, though some critics noted it didn't quite reach the heights of some of their previous albums like Shoots Too Narrow or Wincing the Night Away. Pitchfork gave it a 6.8 out of 10, praising its charm but critiquing its uneven execution. Rolling Stone gave it a 3.5 and praised its kaleidoscopic pop and Mercer songwriting. Other outlets like the AV Club and Consequence of Sound highlighted its warmth and accessibility. The album debuted at number 20 on the Billboard 200. It resonated more with longtime fans and new audiences, partly due to its throwback vibe. The album also has a companion album, which was released in January 2018. It's a flipped version of the album. That's the way they call it, and they call it The Worm's Heart. It's basically they reimagined the Heartworms album with the fast songs are slow and the slow songs are fast. So it's basically the same songs, but they just basically changed them up and made different versions of it, which I thought was pretty cool because that's something that I've never really heard other bands doing that. So I don't know if that's a thing with indie rock, but anyway, it's pretty cool. Let's talk more about the album. The project was born from Mercer's experimentation during the original recording session. He cited influences like the Beatles, the Kinks, and David Bowie, which is evident on the album's eclectic sound. The DIY production also reflects his love for lo-fi aesthetics. Heartworms also solidified the Shins' staying power in indie rock. So let me talk about a few songs. First one, Name for You. That was the lead single and opening track. It's a vibrant, upbeat indie pop song. Captures the band's ability to write catchy melodies and introspective lyrics. The song features jangly guitars, a driving rhythm, and lush harmonies, blending the Shins' classic indie rock sound with a polished, radio-friendly sound. It has bright, optimistic vibe with a nod to 60s pop and surf rock influences. The production was led by James Mercer and refined by Richard Swift. It emphasizes clean instrumentation and Mercer's clear, emotive vocals. The song clocks in at around 3 minutes and 9 seconds, so the track is concise yet dynamic. It has a memorable chorus and layered backing vocals. The arrangement includes subtle keyboard accents and a tight rhythm section, courtesy of drummer John Sortland and bassist Yuki Matthews. It was one of the first tracks released to promote the album back in January of 2017. Name for You was written by James Mercer for his daughters, and it has a feminist undertone. The lyrics encourage self-empowerment and resilience, addressing societal pressures on women. Mercer said in interviews that he wanted to write a song that spoke to his daughter's strength and individuality. For example, lines like, "What's in a name for you? My girl, don't let it define you," emphasize defying expectations and embracing one's identity. The song's narrative is both personal and universal, blending parental advice with broader social commentary. The upbeat melody contrasts with the introspective lyrics, creating a hopeful, encouraging vibe. It's less melancholic than some of the Shins' earlier work, leaning into anthemic positivity. Critics praised Name for You as a standout on Heartworms. Pitchfork noted its effervescent pop energy, while Rolling Stone called it a feminist anthem disguised as a sunny pop song. Its accessibility made it one of the album's most streamed tracks. The song was also a staple in the Shins' 2017 to 2018 tour setlists, often played early to energize crowds. In the companion album, The Worm's Heart, Name for You was reimagined as a slower, dreamier ballad. The flipped version strips back the upbeat tempo, emphasizing on the song's emotional core with softer instrumentation and a more introspective feel. The song was released during a time of heightened focus on gender equality. It was around the time of the 2017 Women's March. The song struck a chord with listeners for its subtle yet powerful message. The song's video was directed by John Sortland and features vibrant visuals and a narrative of young women breaking free from constraints, while reinforced the song's themes. Mercer also cited 60s pop and the Kinks as influences for the song's melodic structure. There was another track that stood out. It was an autobiographical type of song. It was called Mildenhall. It's the fifth track, written and performed by frontman James Mercer. Mildenhall is a mid-tempo indie pop rock song with a jangly, folk-inflected sound. It features crisp acoustic and electric guitars, a steady rhythm section, and Mercer's signature vocals. The arrangement is layered yet uncluttered, with subtle harmonies and a retro, almost 60s-inspired feel. The song length is approximately 3 minutes and 26 seconds. Mildenhall is one of the Shins' most personal songs. It was inspired by Mercer's childhood as an Air Force brat, living in Mildenhall, England, where his father was stationed at RAF Mildenhall. The lyrics recount Mercer's teenage discovery of music, specifically finding a cassette tape of Jesus and Mary Chain's Psycho Candy among his father's belongings. It was a moment that shaped his musical path. Lines like "A kid in class passed me a tape, an invite to my future," and "Mildenhall, where I first saw the light," evoke a vivid sense of place and coming-of-age discovery. The song captures excitement of finding music that resonates, set against a backdrop of a transient military life. Critics widely praised Mildenhall as a highlight of Heartworms. Pitchfork called it a tender, evocative portrait of Mercer's youth, while Stereogum noted its heartfelt simplicity and classic Shins charm. Reviewers often highlighted its storytelling and melodic warmth as a return to form for the band. In the companion album, The Worm's Heart, Mildenhall was flipped into a slower, more atmospheric rendition. This version leans into a dreamier, almost mournful tone with a softer instrumentation and a focus on the song's emotional weight. Mercer has discussed in interviews how Mildenhall reflects his real-life experience of living in England in the 1980s. The song name drops to Jesus and Mary Chain, a nod to the band's influence and musical taste, and captures the alienation and excitement of being a teenager in a foreign place. While deeply personal, the song resonates broadly with listeners who recall their own moments of musical discovery. The song's jangly guitars and melodic structure were also influenced from a few classic 60s rock bands like the Kings and the Byrds. While not a chart-topping single, Mildenhall became a fan favorite and a critical darling, often cited in interviews as a reason to revisit Heartworms. Then there was Half a Million, which is the seventh track. It's an energetic, guitar-driven indie rock song that stands out for its defiant tone and catchy hooks. It was probably my favorite. It had more of that classic 60s rock sound. I also liked it because it was one of the more upbeat tracks featuring punchy electric guitars. I also liked the fact that it sounded like indie pop, but with a raw, almost punk-inflected energy. The song has a vibrant anthemic quality with a driving beat from drummer John Sortland and punchy bass lines from Yuki Matthews. The lyrics of Half a Million are introspective yet defiant, exploring themes of resilience, self-doubt, and pushing through personal struggles. Mercer has described the song as grappling with the pressures of creativity and public perception, possibly referencing his own experiences as a musician. The title Half a Million is ambiguous, but could allude to the idea of reaching a milestone or breaking free from constraints, whether personal or societal. Lines like, I've got 500,000 reasons to get out of bed, and I'm not giving up, though I'm tempted, convey a sense of determination in the face of adversity. The song's tone is both rebellious and optimistic. I found the song to be less personal than Mildenhall, but it appeared to draw on Mercer's reflections on his career and the grind of maintaining artistic integrity in the music industry. It was relatable for anyone facing self-doubt or external criticism. Critics praised Half a Million for its energy and catchiness, often citing it as one of Heartworms' stronger tracks. Consequence of Sound noted its propulsive urgency, while the AV Club highlighted its classic Shin's jangle and anthemic quality. In the companion album, The Worm's Heart, Half a Million was reimagined as a slower, more subdued version. This flipped rendition trades the original high-octane energy for a more contemplative, almost melancholic arrangement with softer guitars and a focus on the song's emotional undercurrents. The song's jangly guitars and driving rhythm recall influences like the Kings, the Byrds, and early REM. Its anthemic quality also nods to 80s alternative rock with a modern twist. The song also serves as a counterpoint to introspective tracks like Mildenhall or The Fear. In the end, I liked it a little more than when I first got the album. I guess I never really gave it a chance, but now I'm starting to notice how it sounded like 60s rock music. That's all. Check out this video right here that I did on Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. I guess it would be a good follow-up. In the meantime, thanks for watching. Please subscribe to the channel. I do content related to physical media on this channel, and I will see you in the next one.